Hey gang, welcome to another episode of Real Deal Property Sharks. I'm your host, Jersey Mike, and as I always say, I'm the real deal. And of course, here are my two hosts, lovely Deborah Face, the face of real estate.
Hi everybody.
And my blind coach Nick over here.
What's going on, everybody?
Oh, Nick, your seeing eye dog just bit me in the leg.
That's not the dogs.
That's already.
Anyway,
Right out the gate.
Anyway, folks, today's about sort of a sentimental day for me today because today's my dad's birthday, and I was very close to my dad. My dad up in heaven. Shows for you, Dad.
Happy birthday.
Okay, so
What was his
Dad,
name?
Armando.
Oh wow.
Great name.
Yeah.
Yes, very Sicilian. But anyway, today, I was thinking that on my way over here to the show, I'm thinking to myself, I'm riding through, I have driven through many neighborhoods, whether it's Miami, Boca, Lighthouse Point, all these places, all these beautiful houses.
Yeah.
I always wondered, like, man, look at all this money, this money around here, and like,
Crazy.
I'm a step up above a tent. And I'm wondering, saying to myself, well, how much, like these houses, where is like the most expensive place to
Yeah.
live?
They say that Key Biscayne is the most expensive homes.
Key Biscayne?
Key Biscayne?
Yeah.
Really?
It's,
I would have never thought that.
I would never thought
south
that
of
either.
Miami, and the average, actually the median sale price is $3.5 million.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, amazing.
Yeah, but for you, it wouldn't matter. You're blind. Wouldn't matter where you're at. You
I
could be
can't
staying
see
at a bus
check.
station.
Miami's
You
on
can't
the list, Fort Lauderdale, but everything down south, so southern.
really?
Florida
So,
is
wow. That's.
more.
And
Yeah,
I've been to Key Biscayne. Key Biscayne's beautiful.
yeah, it is nice.
I guess the
Yeah.
proximity to Florida, to Miami and stuff like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So the highest price sold so far is $111 million, and it was a big hedge fund guy.
Wow.
Stephen, I think Schoner was his last name.
Wow.
And $111 million isn't really that much because there are other properties
Yeah,
that
bag of shells.
well, there's other
Yeah, bag of
properties that are
shells.
more expensive than that. But as far as transaction goes, that was the highest priced home that was sold. You know, some people own houses that are more expensive.
See, I thought you were going to
Sold,
say something like Palm Beach County. Or
That's
something.
what I
No,
thought. That's
know,
what I thought
no.
too. So
it
it's
was
really.
like eight, and Miami, Key Biscayne. What was the other ones? They were all down south though.
Like, what about
I mean,
Fisher Island, Star?
They are wealthy too, but not. They don't. They,
They're
they,
second
they,
class.
they didn't make the list. They didn't make the list. Yeah, it's amazing.
They didn't
The money
make the
down
cut.
here is.
Wait a minute,
too.
funny. Fisher Island. Okay, this is true. So no. Listen.
There it goes again.
There we go. Of course,
Wait a
the
minute,
meteors.
is this one of your stories, your fishtails, or?
No, not Fisher like as in fish. Well, maybe it's Fisher. Fischer. Yeah, Fisher Island, not Fisher.
Okay. Who's
What
on
he
the-
said.
Yeah, what he said. Anyway, I heard this. Now, I don't know how this could happen. Now, this is a very decadent, very upscale place. I guess because they're they have their own ferry that takes them from Fisher Island
Oh yeah.
to Miami, right? Am I right?
Right.
Okay. I'm not really familiar with it. But I heard on the news the other day, these two ladies are in their car on the ferry to go across to Miami, and the car fell off the ferry
How does that happen?
with them in it. How do you fall off
Did
of
they survive?
No, they're deceased. As the Sicilians would say, they're swimming with the fishes
Oh, no.
from Fisher
Oh,
Island.
that's sad. How does that happen?
Yeah.
How
They
does
still
it
in the car?
happen?
I mean, did
They were still in the car. Like, you don't
they
notice the car's
Did
like,
they put it in forward?
Yeah, they put it.
no, they're sitting. The story, the way I heard that they're on the ferry and it's open because you sit in your car and you drive, going across. You're talking about this,
Yeah.
what they're going to do. They were socialites next event or whatever. The next thing you know, cars going in the water. Like you have time.
Sounds like a hit to me.
Their cousin cut the brake lines.
Usually it's like a parking garage almost, like on these boats. ferries.
Yeah, usually you're like one right
But
behind
you
the
park
other.
and then you get out, and then
Yeah.
somebody. I don't know if someone
When did
comes
this
by
happen?
and make sure everything's
Just
okay.
the other
but
day.
You don't stay
Yeah.
in your car. Why would you want when you want to get out on the ferry?
Folks, I do not make this stuff up.
Oh, my
I know it's
gosh.
crazy. I'm like a zany guy, and
actually
I have
heard
all
about
these
it,
ideas,
too,
but I
didn't
do
know the
hear about it.
specifics. That's
So my brain's
Kind of sad.
It's
Yeah,
very
it's real sad.
Yeah, that's very sad.
But I'm saying, how do you do that?
I don't know.
All right,
Maybe
but
they thought that the car could
No, but
Cars
you're
are
looking
the-
at the car. It's on a ferry. You're sitting in the car. Don't you feel it's starting to go backwards?
Yeah. Oh, is that
Oh,
what
it went
happened?
backwards.
I don't know, or backwards or forwards.
Yeah.
Even
Wow.
forwards worse. Like, okay, we're going into the water.
You know what's funny? You know when you're sitting, have you ever been like sitting in a parked car and then the car next to you moves
And you think you're moving.
Maybe that was
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
and then they, maybe
Nah,
they thought,
nah.
Well, maybe they weren't
They're
sitting
on
in
a
the car.
ferry.
Think about that. Maybe there was something else going on.
No, they were in the car.
Wow.
They were.
No, but maybe they weren't sitting in the car. Maybe, if the cars are rocking, don't come a knocking. I mean,
Well, I'm going to tell you something funny. I didn't want to say this. The tail end of it. No pun intended. The tail end of it, they were found in the back seat.
Are you
In
serious?
an embrace, yeah.
There you
But
go.
that's what I said. I said, wait a minute, that's...
Yeah, maybe they didn't put the car. in
but
park
once
and-
again, how does the car move by itself? I mean,
yeah, you'd have to put it.
Yeah,
It would have to be
yeah.
neutral to be able to.
Or it
move,
just
right?
slid off.
yeah. How?
crazy.
You can't.
Or somebody that is a joke. Watch me this. I'm going to take Crisco and put it behind the wheels, smear it around on all four wheels, and just go zip.
Wow, that's
It's a
insane.
tragedy.
Yeah.
Things that happen on Fish
Anyway,
Line
but that's
make you
it's
say-
a property,
Yeah.
Big
And I
shame.
think twice about taking
a ferry.
a ferry
And-
with the
and
car.
I'd rather
That's
swim.
Absolutely.
But then moving. Here's another thing. Now this is another thing that gets me too. With all these beautiful properties that you show, like, did you ever walk in a place and it smells like smoke?
Oh God, yeah, that's a tough one.
That's
tough.
another
Matter of
one.
fact, we had someone had reached out on Facebook because they were a realtor and they were putting a house on the market, and the seller was a smoker. And I know there's a lot of smoking people out there, and no disrespect.
But
to them.
wait. What kind of smoke?
Smoking, any kind of smoke. But unfortunately, if you do smoke in the house, it reeks of smoke. And I've had personal clients that when they got to the door and they smelled smoke, they just wouldn't even go in. They said, "We're not going to even step foot in it." So
Really?
unfortunately,
Can you fumigate?
So if you're a seller and you're a smoker and you're smoking in your house, just know that it is a tough sell because people don't want the smell of smoke. And then to remove the smell, you have to paint the ceilings, the walls, you have to remove the carpet. I mean, cleaning a carpet isn't just enough to get the smell out. So there's a lot of things you need to do to really get the smell out, and it's a cost thing. So unfortunately, it's going to cost a little bit of money. So if you don't want to do that, then you might not get the highest price for your property because of
What if
that.
you give him a bag of? Never mind.
Yeah, no, right. If that was the case, I want to.
Add on.
This is a good house. I like this
She
house.
had to talk to the seller, and again, we're trying to educate the seller on the best way to present their home and to get the most money and all that stuff. So she was very uncomfortable, and she was just reaching out saying, what do I say to my seller? So
Tell
the
the
best thing
truth,
is
right?
to be honest, but to be
Yeah.
nice and be respectful.
Your place smells like an ashtray. What the hell?
Right. Well, you don't want
Stupid.
you
What's
don't want
wrong
to say
with you?
that.
Do it
but
like
yes.
do it like my mother.
No, I'm gonna
Stupid.
tell
What's wrong with you?
No, I'm going to tell you. This is true. This is true. Okay, my parents.
It's all in the delivery, how you say it.
Right. Well, this is true, and I saw this. My parents, God rest their souls, but my parents were smokers. Okay. And I remember, like in our house in Toms River, when my mom sold the house, I remember when my father redid the house. Now this is funny. They put up wallpaper. We have a clock. You have pictures on the walls. When my parents sold the house, you never know because they used to smoke all the time in the
they
house.
took it down.
When they took the clock down and took the pictures down, my mom said, "There's white squares."
Yeah.
Where the ones?
Sure, I've
smoke
seen
it
that.
goes right into the right into the
walls.
Oh, is that what the wallpaper colors
Even on
supposed
the
to be?
couch, if you have a cloth couch, if you have leather, then it's not so bad. But just think about it: curtains, furniture that's cloth, it gets into the.
Soap.
Yeah, it's so
it
sick.
gets into it, and you
Well, that's
can't
what they
get
use for filters, right? They use
Yeah,
fabric,
you can't
right?
get the smell out. So
In the cigarettes, aren't
It's
isn't it cotton?
Yes.
Cotton
All right, if that's not bad enough, now here's another thing. Of course, here it goes again. Crazy Mike, Jersey Mike.
what's wrong, Mike?
No, wait a minute. No, this isn't wrong. Think about this.
It's bothering you.
No, this is, well, it doesn't bother me. This intrigues me. This isn't being intrigued. In Hollywood, okay, they went into a house, okay, you ready for this? The guy that lived there had a jar of human tongues. It's formaldehyde. I don't know whether he was
Wow.
making tongue. Is that is that
Does he
a
speak
cult
in
test?
tongues?
Speaking in tongues? Maybe he was practicing. Maybe when he's
Wait a minute, speaking
or
in tongues,
watching.
use each one. They take it out. No,
I'll rip your tongue out.
that's crazy.
You know.
Was he like a cereal?
Is he a doctor or something?
What was that?
No, it would have been cereal. This is tongues. He was a meat eater. If he was a serial killer, it would have been cereal. He would have found the banana person with bananas and cereal. He's a serial killer.
So where did you hear this? Was this in the news?
I have my sources.
Okay.
His tongue is high.
And listen, it's not a bunch of people around doing like smoking pipe.
So what else did they say about it? Just that
They
who
found
it?
tongues. Where did the tongues come from?
And was the guy still living there?
Yeah, like was this
No,
right
I
after the
didn't- God-
fact, or he died and then they came in? To
No,
see
the guy.
house?
I think the guy died or whatever. They went into the house stuff. You know, we did a show on stuff left behind. Well,
Oh, yeah.
there's a
That
joke.
was
Yeah,
tongue behind.
yeah, tongue. Yeah. Here's your make cold cuts.
Could you imagine if he was a killer and that was kind of his, what do you call it, like a
Signature?
or a keepsake, you know, and then they
Wow.
tested them and then they found
Maybe
out-
one of them
found
was
out
his
other
tongue.
people
Was
that-
it something like that? I mean, was it?
I
we
don't,
don't know.
listen, I don't get this information. I don't know.
Wait.
I don't know
Imagine,
anything about it. It's the first time hearing it.
imagine if the cop linked one of the victims and is interrogating them. So, did he cut your tongue out?
That's a
Just-
flag on the play. $10 penalty. What's wrong with you, Jerky?
I would say yes then. The answer
Right.
would be yes.
Okay, all right, here we go. Okay, moving along. Okay, now I got something else. All right. There was another place in Florida. I swear to you folks, I'm not making this up.
And
I'm
the
not
tongue
making-
place was in Florida?
It was in Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Hollywood, Florida? or
Hollywood, Florida.
Oh yeah, it could have been
Wow.
Hollywood, California.
I think it was Hollywood, Florida. Yeah, well, no, or was about the other side? Yeah, but I think it's someplace in
You
Hollywood.
might not be
Wow.
into tongues in Florida. It might have been California.
I wonder what the property value is for that house now.
Here's another thing. Now wait,
People will buy houses just for the, you know, the
It could have been Hollywood.
famousness of it all, you know.
Or infamy.
Or if, yeah.
I'm pretty sure, but here's another. And I know definitely this happened in Florida. Ready? Okay, this is something else. This couple goes to Dunkin' Donuts, orders donuts. Okay, I don't know whether it was a box of donuts or a bag of donuts or whatever they got. The lady goes to eat the donut. One of the donuts, it's covered in blood.
Was
There's blood on-
was it a jelly donut?
I would hope that it should have been. You know, it's like
Was it Halloween?
I'll have a dozen of the Dracula donuts, please, or the vampire.
Oh, that is disgusting.
They didn't take a bite out of it, did they?
No, yeah, she took a bite out of it. But it's covered in blood, and then they go
man.
back inside. They go back inside and say, your donuts, it's covered in blood. So they go, gee, I'm really sorry, man. Would you like another donut?
No, I didn't.
Like, what are you crazy? You call the cops. She has
Oh
to
my
be tested,
God.
I
Oh,
guess, for a
that's
year.
wild.
But this is welcome to Florida, folks.
Yeah.
Remember I told you my 300 previous show. Castro's putting some in the drinking supply. Put some in the drinking supply. You drink it, go out in the sun. The catalyst, you turn it into an instant
But
bozo.
remember, we do have some of the most beautiful houses and homes in Florida.
Yes, but here's
a
a-
beautiful place to be, and everybody's happy whether they're eating bloody donuts or they're
No, really.
or they've got tongues on the shelf. It doesn't matter. It's a great place.
No,
to be.
really, tongues. I mean, like, what other place could happen but in Florida?
That's absolutely
And,
crazy.
and yet, there's another thing. There's another thing I can come up with. Now, this is true.
They're all true, right?
Everything is true.
Everything's true.
I have no reason
You
to
can
lie.
research this later
Yes,
on.
yes. You can look it up.
You could Google it. Everything.
Here's
you Google
another.
is
Here's
true.
another. You ready?
Ability.
Florida. Okay, Florida is number one in the United States. Now, think about this, folks. Number one in the United States for people getting hit by trains.
Oh my God.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know why. Who messed with a
We
train?
have a new train called the Bright Line.
Right. Well,
Which is
here.
the fastest train, which is good because, I mean, obviously you want to get to where you're going quick.
Not for somebody
Especially
sitting on the
during
tracks. It's
vacation.
fine.
But, I never understood that. I have, unfortunately, a friend that lost somebody, that way as well. I don't know how you can get hit by a train. I mean, either you're crossing where the crosswalk is and the what do you call it,
The railroad crossing.
Yeah,
It's a
the
railroad with the
rubber
gates
down.
that.
But
It's called the railroad
Yeah,
crossing.
but I mean,
That thing.
no, the handle thing, the gates.
Gates.
Actual gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a railroad crossing.
Okay, so anyways, but you know what I'm saying, about the actual piece of wood that comes down, like you don't cross
That's a
over.
railroad crossing. It's the gate.
So, anywho, it's a railroad crossing. But why? You know that it's down. That means a train's coming, and you can hear them. So how do you get hit by a train? I don't know.
Well, I can tell you, a guy got hit about, I'd say a month and a half ago down here in Oakland Park. And this is what happened. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I met a guy a long time ago, like she said, it's called the Bright Line. All right, we just have freight trains and blah, blah. And everything in Florida moves slow. They're on the 92nd minute. People from the northeast. Yeah, right. And that's the fastest thing in Florida is the Bright Line train. Well, before that train started, because now it goes from Miami to Palm Beach. It's supposed to go from Miami to Orlando. Now, I met a guy that was working on the railroad just before Bright Line came out, and this is what he told me. And this was last year. He told me, he says, there's a new train that's coming out. He didn't tell me the name, it was Bright Line. He just said, there's a new train coming out. It's really quiet, and it goes 80 miles an hour. He said, watch how many people get hit by this train. And sure enough, all these people, you know how many people have been killed by that train so far?
Yeah.
Like 43.
That's the Bright Line thing?
Yeah, it is the Bright Line.
43.
I didn't realize it was quiet. I just figured.
They had a guy, now there's a story, they had this guy about a month and a half ago, I drive a Maserati and I'm better than everybody else. He was coming up to the tracks, and there's two sets of tracks, and whenever a freight train is on the track with the Bright Line, the freight train slows down because trains rock. They don't like this in one thing, so the freight train goes real slow. Well, the track closest to him, he's sitting in his Maserati, as you say, the railroad crossing, the wooden things.
The gates.
The wooden
Like
things.
a gate
the
gate hand or whatever.
It's a railroad crossing.
Railroad crossing.
Come down. So he figures that he's in a rush and he's more important than everybody else. He looks down the track and sees the freight train coming real slow.
Right.
And he goes, I can beat that.
Yeah.
I go through the gates. I can beat. I got a Maserati. I can beat that. Well, what he didn't count on, that as he's crossing the tracks, the freight train closes him. He didn't anticipate on the other side. The Bright Line's coming 80 miles an hour.
They're going at the same
time.
direction.
Like it's going like this. Here's the freight train. Here's the Bright Line. It's slowed down for this. Now,
I get that.
try to picture what was going through that guy's mind besides that train.
The rest of his body, unfortunately.
Well, yeah.
Probably happened so fast. I mean,
Yeah.
right?
Can you imagine, how do you get hit by a train?
Well, that's
People
that's
walk
why
in front of the
Something
tracks.
stupid.
Yeah.
Well-
because you don't know there's something behind that because it's blocking your view. I mean, it just makes
Well,
total
not unless
sense.
you try to commit suicide. Of course, that's why the Fort, or you're drunk.
Well, you know what,
Fort
that's good to know
Lickerdale.
though for everybody that's listening because I can see that. If I saw the
Yeah.
train, I thought I could beat it and I was in a hurry. I mean, we all do stupid things, but if you really
Right.
thought you could just cross
Well-
over fast enough, there's nobody coming this way, and what you think is just that one slow train, I get it. Yeah, that's
Right.
crazy. That's
My
scary.
thought on that is
Don't do it.
sometimes
Ugh.
stupidity and ignorance has a price.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you do come to buy property in Florida, folks,
Which you will, because it's a nice place.
stay away from ferries and trains.
There you go.
That's right off the bat.
Transportation.
Oh, and Dunkin' Donuts.
Did I ever tell you about the train trip that I took and that the train actually had an accident with a bread truck?
Did you actually see it there, Uncle Nick?
Oh, well, we actually felt it. In fact,
What happened?
the train was somewhere in the mid-Atlantic, and it was an Amtrak train, and it was middle of the night, and all of a sudden we heard the emergency, whatever it is, brakes going
Brakes,
off.
yeah.
And we felt boom. It wasn't like a big crash for us. I mean, it was like it rattled the train, but the train is massive,
Right, yeah.
But afterwards, they had to have the police come over, and it was a Pepperidge Farm bread truck. There was bread.
Best.
Oh, my
and
God.
It took hours for
Best.
them. It
Did
took
you guys
hours
eat
for them to
something while you
clean
were waiting?
everything up with all the bread. And I'm saying to myself, grab some of the bread.
Yeah.
Let's
Look
get
at
some
make
toast."
sandwich.
Let's
Let's make a sandwich.
like waiting, right?
Let's make a sandwich, yo.
The trains are not as safe as people think they are. They get into quite a few
And
accidents.
so that would be a truck trying to cross the
Yeah,
tracks
the truck.
also?
I think the truck got stuck or something like that. And that was not the only time that I was on a train that had an accident. I was also on another train ride several years later.
Right.
And I was in either North Carolina, South Carolina, or Georgia. I don't remember. It was one of
Okay.
those southern states. And the train had a car accident with a guy who was coming home from a bar. He was wasted. He had this
He sure as hell was
old
wasted.
pickup. You know, so Billy Joe Bob was driving drunk, and he made a right turn onto the railroad tracks instead of the street, and he got out of the truck just in time.
Really?
But the train demolished.
Oh,
the
yeah.
track, demolished
That's
it.
crazy.
And again, it was a 7, 8, 9, 10 hour stretch of police doing reports
can't
and so on and
leave.
so forth.
Yeah.
But this time there was no toast.
Yeah, no,
Well,
no,
I can tell you this.
Yes.
I know this. I saw this on a science channel, and they were talking about like trains with a. Do you know what the weight ratio between a train and a car is, or a truck?
I can imagine.
They say that the weight ratio, like when a train hits a truck or a car, blah blah blah, the weight ratio is the same as if a car were to run over a bottle cap. That's the weight
Wow.
ratio.
Wow.
And
So you're better off being in the train.
Yeah,
well, yeah, than in the car on the track.
yeah.
Wow.
That's
Interesting.
You know, yeah, very interesting.
Yikes.
But yeah,
So the moral of the story: stay home. Don't go anywhere.
no.
don't look both ways.
I think-
Buy a
Great,
house in
great.
Florida.
I think
Call
you should go
Deborah
house
Face.
hunting, go to open houses, and just spend your day looking at beautiful homes.
Don't go in a house where they
Wow.
smoke. Stay away from railroad tracks. Don't go to Dunkin' Donuts.
Don't go on a ferry.
Don't go on a ferry.
And if you do go on a ferry, put your seatbelt. No.
put your put your seatbelt on.
floaties on.
Yeah, put your floaties on. Bring a snorkel with. But no, go back to it. No, think about this. Really, common sense. Think about it.
It's just crazy.
How do you
All
sit
the
on
stories
all of
are
a sudden,
crazy.
like we were sitting there going to back it up, and the car's going into the water. Like,
But it's
open
like-
the doors.
They had to be doing something that they,
They were
weren't paying
probably
attention.
engaged in
Yeah,
something.
they had to be, because how would you not know that?
I mean, they're in the
But you
back
could've
seat.
jumped out.
By the way, you said they were in the back seat hugging. Were they?
Well, they were. I don't know
were they
whether it was
wearing
from
clothing?
fear. I don't know whether it was fear. They were girlfriends. They were playing gynecologists. I don't know what they were.
Those two young ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was two ladies. It was
And
two
they're
ladies.
both in the back seat.
They're both in the
Yeah.
back seat. So
All right.
Anyways.
anyway, folks, you know.
I hope
nothing-
everybody learned a lesson.
That's crazy
of a
stuff.
lot of things.
So anyway, we're going to wrap this up for another crazy show, and hopefully we'll see you the next time on Real Deal Property Sharks. I'm your host, Jersey Mike, from Coach Nick and Deborah Face.
Bye, everybody.
We're out of here.
Peace
Peace.